everyone. In today's Surface quick tip video, I'm actually going to be talking about how to optimize storage and space on your Surface tablet using USB drives and SD cards and some other tips and tricks for optimizing storage space. So I am actually using the Surface 2. As you can see, this is the Surface 2. This is not the rumored Xbox Surface. This is just a sticker. And I want to just show you, here's where I'm starting right now. I have a whopping 4.5 gigabytes of free space, which is actually not a lot. I want to mention briefly that part of the reason why I have so little memory left over is because, as I showed in my previous video, I do actually have multiple user accounts on here. Each user account can actually have their own unique set of apps, their own videos, their own pictures, their own everything. And so if you're really wanting to manage space on the device as a whole, you need to look not only in your account but across any other user accounts that may be on your Surface or your device. So I am actually going to clean up my Surface and optimize the way I use storage, and I'm going to walk you through with me as I do that, and we'll see what this number bumps up to by the end of this video. Okay, so before we dive into some more complicated things, I want to just show this really quick. This is more of a memory management tip rather than a storage management tip. So sometimes, you'll have multiple apps that are open, either suspended or in the background, and you want to be able to close them quickly. And instead of opening each app and then closing them by dragging down, what you can actually do is just really quickly drag each one from the side, just like that. If you want to quickly close all your apps, you just drag from the side each one, and there you go, that's it. I have no more open apps in the background. So the first thing I would recommend is for everyone to get one of these. This is a MicroSD card that fits right into the Surface. These are great. So I've got a 32 gigabyte MicroSD card. These things are amazing. This is about the size of my thumbnail. Okay, I have a 32 gigabyte version. You know what? These come in 64 gigabyte versions. Just to give you context, this little thing, this is how you know we're living in the future right now. This little thing can store the equivalent of 50 VHS tapes. Okay, 50 VHS tapes. If you were to go back in time 20 years ago and told them that this could fit in 50 VHS tapes, I bet you they would not believe you. Okay, so what you actually want to do is you want to open up your kickstand, and there's actually a slot for you to put in the MicroSD card into your Surface. Okay, so one really easy thing you can do with your SD card is to store your SkyDrive on the SD card. So go find your SkyDrive and click on Properties. One of the tabs is Location. Okay, so you click Location. Now mine is already set to be on D, which is my SD card. What you want to do is just change that. You want to just click on Move. Okay, and I'm going to go to the SD card. Now to get to the SD card, you click on this PC right down over here. Okay, and after you get into this PC, you'll see your SD card listed. It'll have an icon that says SD, and then boom. That's a really easy way for you to just move the SkyDrive off of your Surface and onto your SD card. You can also do that for library items as well. Videos, documents, music, pictures. And to do that, you just go into any one of your library items. What you're going to want to do is click on Properties, again, just like SkyDrive, and go to Location. And the same exact setting is here. You click on Move. You can actually navigate to a location on your SD card, on your MicroSD card, and move it onto there. To make sure you go through some of your apps, especially video apps, because video takes up a lot of space, and just look in the settings and make sure that if you have any, so this is Hyper for YouTube. So what I do is I actually have all my offline videos stored on my MicroSD card. So now I can watch it on the airplane or on the bus and not use any data. I can just store all my YouTube videos offline that I want to watch. Okay, so make sure in any app that you use, whether it's music or videos, you want to have as much as possible on your SD card. The next thing I want to show you is something that you should be pretty familiar with, especially if you're used to the Windows environment. So you want to click the properties of your C drive. Okay, and there's a little button down here, Disk Cleanup. Okay, so Disk Cleanup opens. When you finish doing the disk cleanup, you should see either a small bump in space or perhaps a large bump in space. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you will save a ton of space, but it requires you to have a USB drive. I have this 8 GB one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the USB. And so just to briefly tell you what I'm going to do, your Surface actually has a recovery partition in it. And so that, if anything were to happen to your Surface, it could recover itself. However, that does take up a chunk of space. So having the USB, I can actually move that recovery onto the USB and keep this in a safe place so that if anything does happen to the Surface, I still have a backup. But that'll free up several gigabytes of storage. So let's start. First of all, what you want to do is you want to start typing in a search. You want to type in recovery, and you'll see one of the options is to create a recovery drive. Okay, so I'm going to click that. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Click next. Okay, click create. So that just completed. Now this is very important. After the recovery partition is copied onto your USB, it's only copied, meaning it actually still exists on your Surface. So make sure you hit delete the recovery partition and hit delete, and then it will go ahead and delete that space and free up space, which was the whole point of this in the first place. Okay? Wow, look at that. 3,267 megabytes. That's like 3 gigabytes of space has been added to drive C. Okay, awesome. Finish. Boom. With all this free space, all my music, all my videos, my documents, SkyDrive, everything can go on the SD card. So what am I going to use that 8 gigabytes of space for? Apps. Okay? Now, can you move apps to the SD card? Sadly, for Windows 8.1 and 8.1 RT, the answer is no. You could do it on Windows 8 in the Surface RT before, but it does not work on Windows 8.1. And it's not that nobody's figured it out yet. It's actually physically impossible. Okay, there is no way to move apps onto the SD card and make it work in Windows 8.1. Okay, so speaking of apps, you might wonder, wow, well, I still don't have a lot of space. How much memory is my apps using anyway? Well, that's easy. Basically, just go into your PC settings, and you want to go into Search and Apps, okay? And then you want to click on App Sizes. And there you go. It'll tell you your top usage. So Halo uses 1.5 gigabytes. Let's see, Asphalt 7 uses 1.3 gigabytes. So let's say, for example, you've played a game, it takes up a lot of room, you like to just have it around, but maybe you need to free up that extra 1.5 gigabytes. Just hit uninstall, okay, and boom, it will uninstall. So now when we go back to look at our memory usage, we should see that 1.5 gigabytes free. So now I'm at 9.3 gigabytes of free space. So it's as simple as that. And if you want the app back, you've already paid for it or it's free or whatever, you just install it back when you need it. No big deal. Okay, well that was my Surface quick tip video on how to optimize storage and memory. Be sure to like this video and share it, and also check out some of my other quick tip videos as well. Thank you very much for watching.